I still remember the sound of the rain that night, how it hit the window like it was trying to warn me. I was standing there, clutching my wedding ring so tightly that it left a mark on my skin. Inside the house, silence, the kind that feels like it's screaming at you. My husband, Marcus, was in the living room, his phone still glowing on the table, and on that screen was a message that shattered 6 years of love in one heartbeat. Can't wait to see you again. Same place? Marcus and I weren't perfect, but we were solid. At least that's what everyone believed. That's what I believed. He was my best friend before he was my husband. He made coffee the way I liked it, left little sticky notes on the fridge that said, "You make home feel like peace." But lately, peace had turned into distance. Our conversations shrank from sentences to sighs. He'd come home late, smelling like someone else's perfume. When I'd ask, he'd say, "You're imagining things, Eve." That night, the truth wasn't imagined. It was right there on his phone, glowing, undeniable, cruel. When he saw me holding it, his face went. I moved into my sister's apartment across town. The walls were beige, the air smelled like new paint, but everything inside me still smelled like him. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I'd wake up thinking he was beside me, then see the empty space and feel the truth sink in all over again. Friends tried to help. "You'll get over him, Evelyn." But you don't get over someone who built their name into your heartbeat. You learn to live with the echo. Every corner of the city reminded me of him. The coffee shop where he'd wait for me after work, the park bench where he proposed, the grocery aisle where we argued about cereal. Every memory became a ghost, haunting me with what used to be. Weeks later, fate played its cruel little trick. I saw him again, at the farmer's market of all places. He was standing by the flower stall, holding a bouquet of white lilies, my favorite. Our eyes met. Time froze. I could see the guilt in his smile, the kind that knows it's too late. He walked over slowly. "Eve," he said, like my name was both prayer and punishment. I wanted to hate him. I wanted to scream, throw the flowers, tell him love doesn't get to come back from the dead. But all I said was, "Why lilies?" He looked down, his voice breaking. "Because they mean renewal, and because I didn't know how else to say I'm sorry." Something inside me cracked, not from pain this time, but from the small, fragile truth that I still loved him. That night, I went home and read his letter again. Every word felt different now, softer, like it was written by the version of him I once knew. I remembered how he used to hold me when I couldn't sleep, how we promised no matter what. But betrayal changed. When I called Marcus that night, I didn't know what I was hoping for. Maybe closure, maybe peace, maybe just the sound of his voice, something familiar in a world that had become so foreign. He didn't say much, just asked if we could meet. I almost said no, but curiosity is cruel, especially when it's tied to love. So the next evening, I found myself sitting in that little cafe where we used to spend Sunday mornings. It smelled the same: coffee, cinnamon, and old love songs. He walked in wearing that same blue jacket I'd given him years ago. It looked worn now, like it had carried too many apologies. He sat across from me, hands trembling just enough. We talked for hours that night, about everything: the affair, the lies, the empty space that grew between us long before another woman ever did. He said he didn't cheat out of love. He cheated out of loneliness. That hurt even more, because it meant we both stopped seeing each other long before the betrayal happened. When he left that night, He didn't ask if we could start over. He just said, "I'll be here if you ever want to talk again." And for once, I didn't slam a door shut. I let it stay open, just a little. The weeks that followed weren't romantic. They were real. We didn't rush back together. We rebuilt from the wreckage, piece by fragile piece. He started showing up again, not with grand gestures, but with quiet ones. He fixed the mailbox he once broke in anger. He texted every morning, "Hope your day's gentle." It wasn't enough to erase the past, but it was enough to show effort. And sometimes effort is the purest form of love. One evening, I saw him waiting outside my apartment. He was holding tape. Sometimes love doesn't come back the way it left. It returns quieter, humbler, carrying the weight of everything it broke. Marcus and I still have scars. We always will. But now when we hold hands, it's not to promise forever, it's to promise today. Because forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about choosing peace, even when pain would be easier. If you've ever loved someone who hurt you, I hope my story reminds you of this. Healing doesn't always mean walking away. Sometimes it means learning how to stay, with open eyes,